The movie begins with Seth driving while talking to Evan about a website that he is thinking of subscribing to. They talked about what the website includes, and he arrived at Evan's house to pick him up. Evan's mom, Jane, came and thanked Seth for picking him up and mentioned that they won't be together next year since they will go to college. Evan and Seth went to a gas station shop and grabbed some snacks while talking about Evan's crush, Becca, and Seth's crush, Jules. When they step outside, they find Jesse and his friends. He spitted on Seth and told them that they are not invited to his graduation party. In class, Evan found himself unintentionally staring at Becca's chest. Caught off guard, he quickly looked away. As they left, Becca returned a pen Evan had lent her, initiating a conversation. Becca mentioned Jesse's upcoming graduation party, inviting Evan to join. Evan, as if he is feeling a bit unsure, responded with a hesitant maybe, cause he have other places to be. Becca seemed surprised and mentioned Evan wasn't known for attending parties. Evan tried to save face by fabricating a wild night out while having flashbacks of what the events of the night were. After she thanked him for the pen and the say goodbye, Seth vents his frustrations to Mrs. Hayworth about his absent partner in home economics class. He argues that he shouldn't have to do all the work alone and that it's unfair he doesn't receive double grades for it. Mrs. Hayworth tries to reassure him, but Seth continues, pointing out Evan and his seemingly enjoyable time in the class, showing Evan and his partner feeling isolated and frustrated. Mrs. Hayworth suggests Seth pair up with Jules, and Seth reluctantly accepts the opportunity he got for working with Jules. Jules and Seth have an awkward but humorous exchange about their home economics partner being absent. Seth's attempt at humor misses the mark, but Jules takes it in strident. They share a laugh and bond over their banter as they work on their cooking project. When they finish, Jules invites Seth to a party she is hosting that night. Seth ran to tell Evan about the party and told him not to tell Fogel about it. Fogel showed up and told them that he is planning on getting a fake ID after school. Seth, wanting to look cool in front of Jules, told him about the party so that he can buy them a drink. Seth told Jules that they will get a fake ID later. In the school cafeteria, Seth and Evan discuss their excitement for an upcoming graduation party. Seth expresses his desire for Jules and Evan on Becca. Seth then shows his hate for Becca and Evan demands to know why he hates her. Then Seth shares something that happened while they were kids. He told him he used to have a peculiar childhood habit of drawing male genitalia, which leads to an embarrassing incident when Becca saw one of his drawings. She ratted him out, and he got in trouble. As Seth was walking back to class, Jules called him and asked if he could get them a booth for the party. She gave him $100 and told him to buy drinks. Seth went to Evan to tell him what happened. He excitedly shares with Evan his belief that Jules wants to sleep with him after she asked him to buy alcohol for her party. Evan suggested she might just be using him to get drinks, but Seth told him she could have gone to her elder brother for a booth. Despite Evan's doubts, Seth is convinced of Jules' intentions and outlines his plan to progress their relationship from making out to a full-fledged romance, all at the upcoming party. Seth urges Evan to join him in taking advantage of the opportunity and buy Becca a drink too. Evan walked to Becca and told her he was going to the party. He asked if she wanted any drinks, and she thanked him and told him to get her a bottle of vodka. Seth and Evan meet up with Fogel to see the ID. The ID has one name, McLovin, and it states that he is 25 and from Hawaii. Seth and Evan thought it was stupid and agreed that it wouldn't work, even though Fogel constantly reassured them it would. When they went to the parking lot, they saw Seth's car was towed because he parked at a parking lot for staff members only. They went to Evan's place to get ready for the party and agreed to pick Fogel up from his work when he finishes. They went to the store Fogel works at, and Seth told them he would be stealing liquor since Fogel's ID was too obvious. Inside, he imagined all the scenarios that would happen and got out without getting anything. They went to a liquor store and Fogel went inside to get the liquor. He picked all the liquor he was told to get and went to check out. The cashier asked for an ID and gave it to her, but she didn't suspect it was fake. As he was about to pay, a man who came to rob the store punched him and fled, taking all the money from the counter. The cashier calls the police. Seth and Evan noticed a police car arriving and figured they were there to arrest Fogel for using a fake ID. Seth is concerned about the booze, whilst Evan is anxious about Fogel. While they were talking, a man hit Seth with his car. The man walked out and promised them that if they did not report him, he would provide them whatever they wanted. Seth asked for for money or drink, and the guy took out his wallet and gave them $7. Seth was upset and threatened to report him, but he stated that he was going to a party and he would get them the alcohol there. Seth agreed and convinced Evan, and they both got in the car. In the store, the officers questioned Fogel and the cashier. They asked to see his ID, but they too didn't notice it was fake. They offered him a ride because he missed his bus. Seth and Evan went to the party with the man. The owner of the house came and kicked the man they came out with and started beating him outside because he wasn't invited. Seth and Evan decide to slip out the back door while everyone is distracted by this. When they get back inside, Seth suggests that they take some of the liquor, but Evan says no, saying they will get beat up like the man. They argued about this and Evan left. Fagel is still in the car with the cops. They got a call and they told him that they would drop off after that, and they drove to the place they were called in. There was a drunk man causing disturbance. When they approached to catch him, he escaped. They chased him around and he ran to the kitchen and stumbled upon Fogel. Fogel fell and the man slipped and fell too. The cops came and, thinking Fogel caught him, told him they would buy him beer. Seth is still at the party and tried to sneak some drinks out, but a woman asked if he likes to dance, and he started dancing with her. After that, he went to the living room, and two guys pointed out that he had a period stain on his pants from the girl he was dancing with. He went to wash it off because there was a line in the bathroom. Evan went back to the party to call Becca because he had bad reception on his phone. While he was on the phone, several men came and closed the door to the room and started taking drugs. They mistaken him for another guy they saw singing before, and they asked him to sing. Evan, not to get in trouble, he went alone with it. Seth found drinks in a refrigerator. He thinks of ways to take the alcohol out, and he decides to empty detergent containers and fill them with alcohol. When Seth comes back upstairs, he is confronted by the host. Apparently, the woman Seth was dancing with was his fiancée. They started fighting and Seth and Evan ran out of the party and escaped. As they cruised down the road, Seth unleashed his frustration on Evan, lambasting him for ditching their plans. He reminded Evan of their childhood pact to stick together through college, only for Evan to snag acceptance to Dartmouth. Evan fired back, accusing Seth of being self-centered and stifling his ambitions for far too long. With tensions escalating, Seth found himself blindsided once more, this time by the flashing lights of a police cruiser careening toward them, and they hit him. It was the cops with Fogel. They went out and planned to put everything on them to get the blame off of them for hitting them. They told Fogel their plan and gave him a cigarette. He went out smoking the cigarette and he saw Seth and Evan on the ground. Evan got up and ran, and Seth and Fogel ran in the opposite direction, carrying the alcohol. The cops lose them. The boys meet up and decide to go to the party since they have the alcohol. They got into a bus, and the drunk guy that the cops caught with the help of Fogel was there, and he tried to take the booth from them. During this chaos, one of the bottles, the bottle that Becca asked Evan to buy, fell and shattered. They got out of the bus and headed to the party. When they were about to get in, Fogel mentioned that he and Evan are going to live together in college. They got into another argument, and Seth got into the party with the alcohol alone. Jules spotted him and announced the drinks were there. Outside, Becca's friend found Evan and told him that Becca was waiting for him all night and that she was drunk. Evan hesitated because Becca was drunk, and her friend told him that it'd be okay if he gets drunk too. He went to the bathroom with a drink and he started to drink. Fogel went to a girl that he likes and he started dancing with her. He showed her his fake ID to impress her. Evan went to Becca and she suggested that they go upstairs. Evan tried to refuse, but he ended up going. Inside, Becca started kissing him, but Evan got uncomfortable. Evan tried to stop Becca, angered by this, insulted him. Then she got sick and threw up on the bed, and she told Evan to get Gabby. Fogel went to another room with the girl, Nicola. She thinks he is actually 25 and his name is McLovin. Outside, Jules and Seth are talking. He tried to kiss her, but she stopped him, saying he is too drunk for this right now. Seth gets upset and walks away. She followed him to talk, but he was too upset and drunk he ended up passing out, hitting her as he was falling. The cops came to the party to stop it. Seth heard their voice and started searching for Evan. He found him passed out on the couch and picked him up and carried him out. The cops went upstairs and found Fogel with the girl from the party. Slater got mad at Fogel for leaving them, but Michael said they interrupted him. They said sorry and admitted they knew Fogel was underage, but they pretended not to. To make it up to Fogel, they put handcuffs on him and walked him to their car, making him look cool in front of the students. The cops asked Fogel to sign a paper that says they saved him from a potential mugging and someone stole their vehicle with everything in it. He did as he was told, and they burned their vehicle and allowed Fogel to shoot at it. Evan wakes up while Seth is carrying him, and they say sorry to each other. Evan asks Seth if he wants to stay over, and they go to Evan's house. Seth tells Evan that he found out weeks ago that Evan and Fogel wanted to be roommates at college. Evan confesses that he doesn't want to live with Fogel, but is scared to live with people he doesn't know. They told each other "I love you" and they slept. The next morning they woke up, but things were awkward between them as they recall last night's events. To ease the tension, they decided to go to the mall to buy a comforter. In the mall, they stumbled upon Jules and Becca. Becca was there to buy a new comforter for Jules because she threw up on the one she has, and Jules was there to buy some product to cover a black eye she got from Seth. Jules suggests that Seth come with her, and Becca and Evan went to buy the comforter together. Despite the ups and downs, each character found some semblance of resolution. Everyone seemed to find what they were looking for. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our recap. Like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.